Okay, everybody, welcome back to Life According to Richard and Sam. I'm Sam.
And I'm Richard.
Today we're doing something kind of similar to other stuff that we've been doing on the channel or the show. We're going over our favorite YouTubers and like YouTube channels and stuff like that. We've done like favorite movies, TV shows, musicians, and then we kind of did our cooking side of things with this too, with like our first episode. But we're gonna be talking about some YouTube and like just YouTube in general. I'm excited for this, Richard. Are you?
Oh yeah, YouTube is one of my main sources of entertainment.
Yeah, me too. So without further ado, unless you have anything else you'd want to say right now.
I'm good. Unless you want to talk about how we're feeling.
I'm doing good. We can talk about that for a bit. So we are still in COVID. Everything. The state that we are in is fully open right now, but I've been working.
Gotta love it.
So I really haven't been doing much anyways. I've really just been working 40 hours a week and then golfing in my spare time because it's something to do that's exercise and I can kind of keep to myself. But other than that, I've been living by myself because I'm working up at campus, one of the few students up here. So I'm living in an apartment by myself on campus just for that. But what have you been up to, Richard? How have you been doing with everything so far?
I've been doing all right. I kind of feel more comfortable going like out to the grocery store and stuff like that. So one of the things I'm doing, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I want to try like cooking for the internets.
Okay.
Just like something to do for fun too, because like I'm getting more comfortable in the kitchen. And so like the other day I went to the farmer's market and support local business.
Yeah.
It's very important right now. And grocery stores don't have lamb, so I had to get some lamb.
Yeah. The few times that I've cooked lamb, we've always gone to just like a actual butcher shop, not like the meat section of a grocery store, but just a butcher shop, which is always really cool. But yeah.
Yeah, I only know of one around here, and it's closer if I go to the farmer's market, and it also helps, a local farm.
Yeah.
Basically. So, yeah, that was nice. So, I mean, aside from that, I do some gardening. I don't have a job. I didn't get a job for the summer. I'm starting a class, though, in like 2 weeks. That's not exciting.
That sounds so good. So exciting.
Yeah, business law. Oof.
Oh, boy. Right up my alley.
4 weeks of essays, and yeah, I'm not excited, but it's cheaper than taking the class during the semester.
Whew.
But yeah, other than that, I just kind of sit at home. I don't even really play video games, and it's like now I actually have time to play video games.
Yeah.
And I can catch up because like I never beat Red Dead Redemption. I still haven't even beaten The Witcher. Like,
I mean, this for Red Dead, is that 1 or 2?
Oh yeah, 2. I mean,
yeah, I mean, 2's what the story's like 10 hours of like how much is the gameplay hours? Yeah, let's see that. It's 50 hours of gameplay. I got about maybe 12 hours in, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go play FIFA because this is fun, but also it's very drawn out.
Yeah. I love stories. Like I play games for the stories. When I was I'm kind of disappointed in myself though because I still haven't beaten it. And like when I was in high school, I played a game that took me 110 hours to beat the main story and then some side quests.
Which game was that?
It was Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know if you... Yeah.
Yes.
Straight up RPG.
Yeah. Why? See, I never understood that. Like, I love games and I love this, like the story aspect of games. But as someone, I know this is very cliche, but like if I'm playing a story mode, and I like open world games, like Far Cry 5 is probably one of my favorite games, but
yeah,
that story was like maybe 20, 30 hours, like maybe less if you just play it straight. I don't like where the story itself, not including every single side mission you have, especially in Red Dead 2, there's a lot of side missions that you can do and just mess around the whole time. So the fact that the
Yeah.
story alone is 50 hours is way too long for me. Way too long.
Yeah. I get where it's kind of like there are different like groups of gamers.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of casual gamers, and it sounds like you're a pretty cash gamer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because like I've never been good at first person shooters. I've never cared enough to get good at first person shooters.
Me
And
too.
I just see video games as something to do if you have time and while you're like just hanging out. I don't want to like grind a video game for hours on it. Like I've only 100% in achievements one video game, and it was Star Wars like Fallen Jedi, the new one.
Oh, okay.
That's the only game I've ever 100%ed. Like
wow.
I've been working on Arkham Knight, the Batman games, like the Batman Arkham Knight game.
Yeah.
But it just that takes a while because all the Riddler trophies are hard, and there's like a bajillion of them.
I mean, now that I think about it, it's kind of like a generational thing, because like a lot of people around our age and definitely younger are into like Fortnite and all the first person shooters like the Call of Duty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of got my like video game love from my older sibling who likes RPGs, like JRPGs, like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. And like my dad, even when, he doesn't play games very often, but he's a slow gamer. Like I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but like he goes through things slow. And like I remember watching him play Diablo and stuff like that. And it's like for the story, it's very it's casual gaming.
Yeah.
For like the I don't know, for a long-term entertainment value instead of the short term.
Yeah, and that's my problem too, is like I'm also a very slow gamer. Like if I'm playing a game that's like semi open world or open world that has a story mode too, nothing is getting left unturned. Like I will spend, like if I'm at one spot, I will literally spend hours looking at that place just to find everything.
This isn't like against you or my dad, but like I cannot stand people doing that. Like when I'll watch like somebody play Skyrim or something like that.
Yeah.
If they take forever checking the chests and stuff, just because I've been able to, like, I check things really quickly. Like I'm the same way, but I just do it really quick and like speed, and I probably miss stuff. But like, I don't know. There's just something about it that like ticks me off.
That's probably my favorite part of video games is the Easter eggs. Like that's why I spend so much time looking at all of like going through everything. Is like I want to find all the Easter eggs. I want to see all the stuff that like is other like pop culture references or references to games that people that were voice actors in before or like the producers did before. I love that stuff. That's why I spend that much time, is because I want to find all of the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. All right, now that we spent around 10 minutes talking about video games, you want to...
Yeah. No, you're going first to what you're watching right now.
All right, so because my quarantine hobby of choice is gardening, I've followed a lot of gardening YouTubers, like, well, probably just like 6 or 7. But I almost consistently watch their stuff right now just because I want to learn more. And if I'm missing something. But yeah. I found I don't know if I've told you this before in like any past episode, but I found the Bob Ross of gardening videos.
That sounds fantastic.
If you're interested, his name's Gardner Scott. He's also like a 60-year-old dude who is also retired from the military, who's like...
Oh, so it's literally just Bob Ross.
Yeah, without the curls.
No fro, then man. I wanted to see someone with a afro just gardening. Now I kind of want to watch Bob Ross tonight. That sounds fun.
Hope you fall asleep.
Yeah, well, I'm probably working from home tomorrow, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but who else have you been watching right now?
I've been watching. So I kind of watch some of the cooking stuff. So I've been watching like Binging with Babish more often, and Sam the cooking guy, because he's goofy in the kitchen. But
yeah, I've seen a couple of his episodes. I really like his stuff too.
Yeah, he makes some real greasy, home cooking style stuff.
That's my kind of thing,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then Mythical Kitchen's just goofy, so I watch that sometimes for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like black
So
bean brownies, stuff like that.
that sounds interesting.
But what about you? What have you been watching right now?
So I've been watching a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff that I watch now. When I find a channel that I like, I just kind of watch everything by them, and I will continue watching everything by them. So like one of the first channels, like I'm going to talk about them a little later. That I'm watching still now is Achievement Hunter, which is part of Rooster Teeth, and like that's a whole big thing, like Red versus Blue, and although that's all Rooster Teeth. But I like Achievement
Oh
Hunter the
yeah.
best because that's like their video game section, and like they just make the games they play fun, and all the personalities that they have that are different.
Yeah.
It's been good, and like watching them play through quarantine has been fun too because there's a lot more technical difficulties on their end because they're all playing from their houses and like trying to stream
Right.
with each other in like a Discord chat or whatever. And it's just been fun to watch with that. So that's one of the big things I've been watching. Another one is Call Me Carson. It's another gaming type channel, I guess. He does a lot of stuff. It's a lot of goofy content, and I just really like it. So I've been watching a lot of him. I've seen he hasn't released an episode, a new video in a while, but I've been watching a lot of his old stuff over because it's just all amazing. Like his whole group of
Yeah.
friends, I watch too. They're like called the Lunch Club, so go check them out. Another one is this is a cooking channel that you might like. I don't know if you've
Ooh.
heard of Cowboy Kent Rollins.
No.
Cowboy Kent Rollins is an amazing visual experience. It is a very sweet old man who happens to be a cowboy out west. And his whole thing is cooking cowboy food on like Dutch ovens and like cowboy stoves and all that. And it's a very fun time. And he's just very nice and a very sweet sounding old man.
Okay. Is he kind of like the Bob Ross of cooking?
I wouldn't say the Bob Ross, but he's pretty close. He gives off this a similar kind of vibe, but I wouldn't really compare him to Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the last YouTuber that I really watched, like, there's a lot of ones that are in my rotation. I don't want to go over all of them because I'll be here forever. But it's GM Golf. It's a golf channel by some guys around our age in Kansas. They kind of go a lot of places now. They're one of the more popular golf channels on YouTube.
Is there a lot of golf on YouTube?
Not really. It's a lot more trick shot stuff and like goofy challenges. It's not so much like you can watch old golf tournaments and things like that and from people's perspectives, but a lot of the golf side of YouTube is a lot of like, oh, like the GM Golf has this thing that, and him and his friends, they all have separate channels, so they do a lot of similar content. They have this thing called the Wheel of Not Ideal, and like they will literally play like one of their most famous videos, at least in my opinion, or one of their best videos is they usually play like 3 or 4 holes because it takes them a while, and they're like 10-minute videos a piece or whatever. But what they did is like they had every single club on like a lottery wheel or whatever it is, a roulette wheel, and
yeah.
like they took it on the course with them, and you had to spin for a new club every time you were going to take a shot, like you were going to try and get to the green or whatever. Yeah. So that's been fun to watch because like they may like, oh, we're 20 yards out, but I got to use this driver off the deck with no tee. What am I going to do? And stuff like that. So I really like their channel. And then the last one I want to talk about is AJ3. I watch a lot of FIFA YouTubers and like a lot of their challenges and stuff. I like AJ3 because his challenge was kind of like his thing on his channel. I don't really want to go into it because it takes a while. His thing was to kind of introduce me to a lot of the FIFA YouTubers, and there are a lot of British YouTubers too. So I really like his channel. I watch most of his stuff. Okay. That's my current rotation. It's a lot. I bounce through a lot of them.
Wow, yeah. You were talking about Cowboy Kent Rollins, and that reminded me of another cooking channel that I want to know if you... Oh, here it is. Barbecue Pit Boys. Have you seen them?
No.
I don't remember what I was watching, but it had those guys in it. It was some like actual TV show, like a food TV show. I think it was Gordon Ramsay, but I am not entirely sure. Or something like that. But they They're really creative, and they're a bunch of old guys, and all they do, or there are some young guys, but they're like, they're from the South.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly where, but they're like in the woods with like smokers and, you know, a bunch of different grills and stuff like that. And they cook up some like creative things. Like you should look up their jalapeno bomb burgers or something like that. It's really interesting. And
that sounds really interesting.
Like they're really creative, like surprisingly creative, because they're not like the chefs that we see like online, like the Mythical Kitchen and stuff like that, where they or like Claire from Bon Appetit, who tries to recreate candies that are made by machines, you know,
and Brad, who tries to ferment every single thing he can think of.
Right. These guys, like, they're really creative. They're really good. Check them out. But
okay, I definitely will. So I think the next thing we had talking about was our top 3 YouTubers of all time.
All right.
Now this might spin some heads. So you started with the other one, so I'll just get it out of the way.
Okay.
So this is in no order. It's the top 3. So I have Achievement Hunter, because they're like, I think it's more like, it's not so much Achievement Hunter, but I think like Rooster Teeth as a whole has been such a big part of YouTube. But I think Achievement Hunter is their best part, because they're kind of bringing in a lot of new material and a lot of new people. So I have them there. They're probably like, I think all 3 of these are close. The next one I have is PewDiePie, just because I think he's like the most influential gaming YouTuber to have been on YouTube. And I've seen a couple of his videos. I liked it. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but I liked it. And I understand a lot of people do, so I kind of had to include him. And then the last one is Filthy Frank, now known as Joji, who's having an outstanding music career. But I love Filthy Frank. I think his videos are hilarious. They're not the most appropriate, and I kind of realize that now. But I just love his videos. And some of the stuff that he does is really dumb, but I just love them. They're just always a good time and a good laugh. So that's why that was my top 3 and kind of some reasoning behind why. So what about you, Richard?
All right. I want to start out with an honorable mention, just because I want to like let people know about them. So like if you're into like video games and stuff like that, there's a channel called NoClip, like NoClip. It's like a joke on movies or something like that. They do video game documentaries. So like they have a really successful one talking about the creator of Doom. I don't remember his name.
Well, since you had an honorable mention, I got to think of one now.
Geez.
I think just an honorable mention is Cody Ko for me, because he's one of the very rare Viners that came to YouTube and like made a very good career out of YouTube. Because like a lot of Viners after Vine like started dying, started using like making YouTube videos, doing YouTube content or Instagram content, but mainly YouTube. And most of them, like, it didn't really translate over.
Yeah.
Because they kept trying to do a lot of the same things that they did on Vine. But I really like Cody because it's very different than what his Vines were. Because his Vines are only 6 seconds. For those youngins who have never heard of Vine. And then his YouTube videos are great. Like he has a series called That's Cringe, which is one of the funniest things ever. And he takes like a bunch of video suggestions from fans, and like him and his friend Noel, who is arguably funnier than Cody, react to it. And they're always like super cringy videos. Like my favorite one is Jake Paul made a diss track about teachers, and they reacted to it, and then a teacher made a diss track back and actually like blew Jake out of the water, and they reacted to both of them. So that was great, and that's one of my favorite videos on YouTube. So that was my honorable mention, since I didn't know we were having any, and Richard kind of threw one out there.
I thought about it when I was going through my list one last time. But NoClip, they have a really good one on Bethesda, talking about like the process of Skyrim and Fallout and stuff like that. And then the really popular one they have is about John Romero, one of the designers on the original Doom games.
Yeah.
But they have really high quality documentaries, and it's all free on YouTube. Like it's really good stuff.
Yeah.
My number 3, I'm gonna go with Jablinski Games.
I kind of figured we'd see him on here.
I wasn't gonna put him on here originally, but I just have to because I love Jack Black so much. But he's number 3.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, you really like him. Like, this is our opinions. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm just saying I kind of figured that he was going to show up at some point.
But yeah, he's hilarious. Like, he came out talking about how it's going to be a gaming channel, and he rickrolled everybody and
amazing
pranked everybody, and it's all vlogging. Sorry, no gaming video this week. Lately, he's put up some of him playing Red Dead Redemption 2, but they're kind of bad because he's not good at playing video games, but also it's quarantine, so like he can't leave the house either.
Yeah.
So his like the guy who edits his videos and stuff, he puts up video like tutorials on how to do some of the editing tricks he does.
Ooh.
So that's really cool. I'll have to put that into my YouTube channel when I do it. Just like teleporting and things,
Yeah, definitely.
So my number 2, I'm going to go with Wheezy Waiter. He's kind of like, he's not as high up in the scale of popularity on YouTube, but he does some interesting challenges. Like he'll do like no sugar for a month and doing yoga for a month and like things like that. And they're really kind of like educational videos. I haven't used this since high school, but he's like one of the people on Crash Course now because I guess he's really good friends with Hank and John Green.
That's a channel I forgot. We're making this top 4 because Crash Course, great content. Like as a history education major, like their content's great. Also, like I think they need to be in the top list just for the sheer amount of students they help pass their classes with those videos.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because like High School Sam watched those things all the time to study it just because they were really interesting.
Oh yeah, like I kind of would watch them for entertainment when I was at home. Honestly, like so I watched John Green for the AP World History stuff. Like our teacher would put them on sometimes, and if we missed one, I would actually go like watch the video or like
I've seen every single history one. Probably twice.
The morning of the AP World History test, I was like, I got up earlier than usual, but also later than I wanted to, so I couldn't watch as many videos. But I woke up and like binge watched the AP World History videos, and they weren't useful at all on the test. I only got through like 5, and I started from the beginning. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how educational and how like good they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wheezy Waiter. He does some really interesting videos and like talks about the benefits of doing things. Like he's got a big one talking about intermittent fasting. So just talking about ways to do it. I guess he's really a self-improvement YouTuber where he's trying to be better himself and educating you along the way and like trying things, and then if they work for him, it might work for you, or didn't really work for him, then it might work for you considering the benefits.
Sorry about that, everybody. Like we said in one of the past episodes, the format that I'm using of the website we use for recording only allows me to record at 30 minutes at a time. So that's why I kind of cut out there. But you were talking about your top 3 favorite YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my number one is Good Mythical Morning. Like,
yeah.
all-time favorite YouTubers. They're so consistent and reliable, and I mean, I haven't watched them. Like, I started watching them. It wasn't always every day. But they did have some good content, and I would just skip the ones that didn't seem very interesting. But their personalities, I guess, are what really sell them. Like Rhett and Link, the hosts of Good Mythical Morning. I watched them. I started watching them in like 2014, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I took a break for a while. Like, I stopped watching them because it just like they were going through some like show changes, like structure changes. And I wasn't really interested, and it was like too complicated to like, it was ridiculous. There was something like, so I also listened to their podcast, Ear Biscuits. So I know like what was going on during that time now, where it was YouTube was trying to, put more money into itself, giving the money to the creators to make more TV show like YouTube shows.
Yeah.
They were kind of like put up against the wall where it was like, well, we want to, use the funding to improve our show so we, get more viewers, or, be left out and, stick with the same base. So, that's where I kind of fell off, and like, I don't even remember when that was. It was like 2016, 2015. But then just recently, like the last year, I came back and I consistently watch Rhett and Link, like all of their videos in a row. And they've been starting some new stuff. Like over this last summer, they started the Mythical Kitchen channel. They started like a little Let's Talk About That is what it was called, and it was just kind of like a morning talk show for the weekend, because they publish 5 days a week, and so they don't publish anything on the weekends until this last summer when they were trying things out. So they had that half-hour show where it was kind of like different segments of goofiness, but they cut that, and then now Rhett and Link are doing vlogs, and they're still continuing them during this quarantine time. But I guess California opened up, so they're doing some stuff in person now.
Yeah, I think California it's not quite like where we are, where it's like everything's open, but I think California, things are starting to open up. I don't think everything is just like, it's like, here you go out in the world. But I think they're becoming a little more lenient on certain things. Actually,
I saw a headline today saying that the governor's telling some counties where they're starting to get a bunch of cases again. Told counties to close.
Okay.
The more populated, so like LA is closed down, like, or closing down again or something. I didn't read what it was talking about, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a Good Mythical Morning. Love them.
So since we went to that, and that's a perfect segue for the next segment, why don't we talk about channels that you watch every single release of, like, as soon as possible?
So the way I watch YouTube is I will go in at least once a day and click the subscriptions tab and scroll down and add all the episode or the videos that I want to watch eventually, and add them to my watch later playlist.
Okay.
So like right now, just because I didn't watch anything for like during school, because I didn't really have time except for when I had influenza.
Yeah.
That was terrible, by the way. But I watched a lot of YouTube. Right. So right now I'm like a month behind my videos, but I watch, all the Rhett and Link stuff. So like I'll add everything Good Mythical Morning and like their vlogs, and I get picky on Mythical Kitchen, but that's another channel. But other than that, it's pretty much consistently, it's Game Ranks. They're a channel that does video game news. They have a Friday show or a Friday video upload.
Okay.
Where they sum up the week's news of all the big stuff going on in video games.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it gives me all my up to date news on what's going on with video games right now. So good personalities.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely look into them. I think I've seen a couple of their episodes, a couple of things. But for me, it's Achievement Hunter. Like I said, like I love every single bit of their content, and I watch all of it. The Bon Appetit Test Kitchen. Now that's kind of died down a bit, just because like I like the Test Kitchen for them being in the Test Kitchen, and they can't really do that now because they're all living in like New York area. The Test Kitchen is like downtown. But I like that. And then what's the last one? Cody Co. That's definitely like I watch all of his stuff because like not only is he doing like a bunch of funny videos, but he also like makes music and like really good music. And he has a fun podcast too. It's called Tiny Meat Gang. That's kind of the name of the two of them. That's also their music name for their music group. So, but okay. I really like all of their stuff. So,
did you hear what's going on with Bon Appetit right now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was onto that like as soon as it happened because it's all like
I didn't hear about it until after it kind of like blew up. I didn't see it in anything until one of my podcasts.
How I found out was I follow on Facebook or not Facebook, Instagram. I don't know why I said Facebook. A meme page that is just purely Bon Appetit Test Kitchen memes. It's called Meme Appetit, and like they posted something about it, and then I started to follow some of the other people in the Test Kitchen, and then they started talking about it. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Look it up if you haven't heard about it, but it's a lot of stuff with management and.
Yeah, Bon Appetit or Adam Rappaport is what you're going to want to look up. I've covered everything I want to talk about. Do you have anything else? Like, I know this is a little shorter episode, but...
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
So, sorry for the shorter episode this week, guys. But, things are busy between Sam and I. But make sure you guys follow Dolphin Studios on Instagram and Facebook, or follow @Namey on Instagram.
If you want pictures of a man grilling all the time, follow me on Instagram.
But yeah, so check out those for any updates going on right now. Go ahead and make sure you guys share the podcast with your friends. And thanks for listening. This has been Life According to Richard and Sam. I'm Richard.
And always, I'm Sam. Have a good rest of your day, and see you next time. I messed up.
What'd you do?
I accidentally hit the X button when I was trying to move over to the anchor section to see how long I was recording.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you didn't get any of that recorded.
No, I have it all recording. I'm still recording now, but I clicked out of the Zoom, like the Google Hangout. That's what I meant by I messed up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you sound like a cash gamer to me, dog.